This is episode 119.
The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Need a show about outdoor living? This is where it's at. With your hosts, Shane Chapman and Way Laurent. Thank you for tuning in. Now let the show begin. Yeah. The Ultimate Deck Podcast. Let's go.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
TGIF.
TGIF.
I wanted to say that, and I had to stop and think about what the acronym was. Getting old.
Yep, that happens.
Who else is getting old today?
Who else is getting old today?
Who else is getting old today, Wade?
The first question.
Wade, who's getting old today?
I'm getting old today.
Oh, how old are you, Wade?
40.
Yep.
What?
Today.
You made it.
I made it. There are a lot of people that probably didn't think I was going to make 40.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like we might lose you soon. Like the whole people wait before they pass on for something. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
this might have been your wait. You're like, it's 40 out. Peace.
All I wanted to do was get to 40.
Made it to the halfway point.
Yeah. But
I ain't finishing this race.
Right.
The race is shitty anyway. Look at
Race
this
is
track.
shitty. Right,
Track's
exactly.
falling apart. There's nobody in the stands because they can't be.
Yeah. You got to wear a mask the whole way.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, it's garbage out there right now. Who cares to finish the race?
What a year to
I
turn
do.
40.
Yeah. It's, I had some buddies that turned 40 last year, like last summer.
Oh, it's even better.
And it was just, they were complaining. It was like, it sucks. You don't get to have a big party. You know, just have like 2 or 3 of your closest friends. That's it. It's a
Yeah.
birthday party.
Yeah. Mark Westrom's in here saying he thought we were going to get rid of the hip hop intro. Maybe now that we're 40.
Yeah. We got a month to go.
Maybe it's time.
March 20th.
Yeah,
Shane
I
will
can
be
still
40.
hang on to it.
Oh, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Bryce, you're young.
I'm young. I'm 30. I'll be 34 this year.
Oh, yeah. Suck it, Westrom. We've got 6 more
Suck
years
it.
of this hip hop stuff.
We're still cool.
Hip Hop Anonymous.
Have you guys seen that whole millennials Gen Z argument that's going on?
Yep.
Do you wear tight pants,
Yeah, I got to get.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I've seen that a little bit.
side parts?
Yeah. You know what else I saw? Speaking of, what did you just say?
Your volume's up on your phone.
You just said something.
Hip
Hip
Hop
Hop
Anonymous.
What's that from again?
Adam Sandler did it, I thought.
Yeah, exactly. It's Adam Sandler.
SNL.
So which
No,
leads
no, it was a movie.
Oh.
Hip Hop
Billy
Hip Hop
Madison.
Anonymous?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Billy
old,
Madison.
Old, yeah.
So it's the 25th anniversary of Happy Gilmore.
I saw this as well.
Possibly the best Adam Sandler movie ever made.
Top 2 for sure. Probably number 1. Billy
Number
Madison would be the other,
Billy
the only
Madison's
other
pretty
contender, right? They're
Yeah.
both like,
Why does he always get the easy ones?
they're rock solid. So anyway, did you see on TikTok? It might have been posted elsewhere too, but Adam Sandler did a TikTok of him doing Happy Gilmore running drive off the tee. And he did it. He hit
Big
it.
Daddy, they say. It was not.
And then what's this? Who
The
is Big
movie
Daddy?
was off Big Daddy.
Oh,
That's what it was.
yeah, Big Daddy. Look, everybody knows this except us.
I forgot. I'm old.
Yeah, exactly.
So then who's the guy that plays Shooter Mcgavin?
Oh, yeah, that guy.
He stitched this and I don't know if he stitched it, but he did a reply video.
Yeah.
And in character about his funny shit.
They were good. It was a pretty funny exchange.
Yeah, that's awesome. Shooter
What you got
Mcgavin,
going on there, Happy?
played by Christopher McDonald. That's his name.
Christopher McDonald. I don't know that he's done anything since.
No, probably not.
Don't need to.
Hey, after the podcast, you guys want to go down to Sizzler and get some grub? The creepy dude in the bushes.
Right?
Remember him?
Yeah.
Sizzler guy? Oh, boy.
So, happy birthday, Wade.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. What did you do? Anything.
Nothing.
Nothing.
0.
Because today's the
Today
day.
is the day, so I came into work late.
Happy birthday. That's all
Shane's.
you get.
Yeah. Shane's wife made a cake for me. 2 cakes.
2 cakes. Yeah, I forgot to add sweetener to my coffee, and I'm not just a not sweetener guy.
So that's fantastic. The cakes are amazing. One
They
of them I shared. The other one will not be shared. The
You
other
made
one
a-
just for me.
I made a pretty big mistake putting that on the table out there in
Believe
the
it's
common room.
still out there.
Yeah.
You might want to go move that. I told Juanita if that's still there next time I go out there that I'm no longer considering that one to be only Wade's cake.
Yeah, that one I'll take away. And then I'm going to go up to the cabin and go skidooing this weekend with my parents. So,
There you go.
yeah, it'll be fun.
There you go.
Just go give her a rip there, bud.
Going to send it.
Gonna send it a little too hard there, bud.
That's the plan.
Good. Do they have more than 2 sleds? You don't own a sled.
I do not own a sled. They have more than 2.
they're going to bring you a sled.
They have 3.
A little kiddie sled.
4. They have 4 snow
Yeah,
machines.
those little
Jeez.
kitty sleds.
Yeah, the 70
Don't go
horser.
too fast.
Yeah. No, I'm 40 now. I can drive the big one.
Yeah, he no longer has to ride the little junior ones.
Yeah, I get a big sled now. Yeah, no, they have 4. So
Well, that's good.
Cascade says, "Send it, bud."
I'm going to. I'll be sending it.
Another video I saw. What are those? What are those? They're not snow. They're not sleds in the traditional sense. They've got like a single track. They're like a motorbike, but for snow. Have you seen this thing? They got like a single ski, and
I've
then they
never
have a
seen it.
track on the single track. Single track, single ski.
I have seen this.
So TikTok video is it was a oh no video because this guy. So there's two guys, 2 buddies, and one guy was up at the peak of the mountain and he's like waiting up there, and the other guy's coming ripping up, climbing the mountain, gets to the crest of the mountain, and he like there's a clear drop off, so he kind of comes up there and turns, and he's gonna like he's risking it a bit. He's gonna turn shy of like 2-3 feet of the edge of this cliff, whatever.
Right.
So he turns, and all of a sudden his buddy's like no, because it's actually like
the snow's
like
cut.
a cantilevered
Yeah.
chunk of snow over the top.
Boy.
And so he comes up there, and all of a sudden you see the crack rip through the snow. It's like, and the snow starts to drop, and this dude like jumps off his bike onto the stable ground, and bike and snow gone down the mountain.
So he's dead, right?
No, he like depends on whose bike it was, but like he made it just barely.
Yeah.
It was pretty cringeworthy.
And that's
Yeah.
why Wade's going snowmobiling in Saskatchewan.
On the flat stuff.
Yeah, there's like if you hit the end, it's like that's the end of the earth.
Right,
Actually,
exactly.
it's like flat earthers are they're rejoicing.
They're right. Yeah.
Wade found the end, the edge of the earth.
Yep. That's right.
The worst thing you can hit is a moose.
I could hit open water.
Maybe a slough. Yeah.
That would be bad. Open water would be no good.
Depends on how fast you're going.
Yeah,
Send
just
it, bud.
pin it. I've seen those guys before.
Bryce,
Yes.
you're up.
Moment of uselessness.
We do have it today. I didn't want to say it in case you didn't have it.
Birthday edition.
Birthday edition of
He's going to do
uselessness.
this while I'm going to grab some stuff for my coffee. Everybody,
You leave
you
that
guys
cake
can
alone.
keep talking.
You
Yeah.
should,
Cake
you should
alone.
make me a coffee.
Could have.
I think we should drink.
Okay.
It's my birthday.
Weird birthday traditions from around the world.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Wade. This one's right from Canada, and you probably haven't done it yet this year.
So
It's
you
called-
knew this was his birthday before you got here today?
Yeah.
Cool.
Did you tell him?
I didn't tell him.
Okay.
Okay, you ready? This is a very famous tradition in Canada. It's called nose greasing.
Okay.
It's where a young boy or girl is pinned to the floor while their nose gets smeared with butter on their birthday.
Sorry, did you say this is a
It's a
tradition in Canada?
Canadian birthday tradition, apparently.
I wonder if it's in a different part of Canada because
Butter, please.
Yeah.
We
I
need
have
some
never
butter.
seen this before.
Wait, yeah, that's a
I've
pretty
never
broad
seen it
brush
before
right there.
either.
They hold you down and smear your nose with butter?
Yeah.
So
It's-
I've heard of the bumps before, but nope.
That's crazy.
Okay.
The reason for this is to make yourself far too slippery for bad luck or negativity to get a hold of you until next year.
Okay.
Sounds like a lie to me.
I'm gonna put it all over myself.
It's shit like this that it's shit like this that makes me always question things you hear about other countries. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, did you hear that the people in Norway they eat leeches? And it's like you would just be like, oh, that's gross. And then you talk to somebody from Norway and they're like, that's disgusting. Nobody does that.
Exactly.
This makes me think that shit's true, like not true all the time.
That's
Because like I've never heard of anybody
You've never
putting
heard of
butter
it
on
either.
their nose.
Not one time.
Not even speaking of it.
No, either have I, which is weird because we're from like the backwater.
Canada.
And
Essentially.
Simcoe and Dex says definitely not in Ontario
Definitely
either.
not happening in.
So not in the East Coast, not in the
exactly.
prairies, not in Ontario.
I didn't want to take any shots at Quebec, but I was like, maybe Eric knows.
This is a Quebecois thing. For sure it is. I'm wondering if this isn't like maybe it's up north.
Or
Like maybe
New-
it's like
in the territories.
Newfies?
Cowit or something.
Yeah. It's the Newfies, maybe.
Could be.
Maybe the
Way
Newfies.
East Coast.
And it's
We
not
don't
that
know
they-
anybody.
It's
So.
not that they're intentionally putting butter in their noses, that they get shit-faced drunk, pass out, slam their face in the
Hey,
kitchen
yeah,
table.
there you go. So Wade, just put out a bunch of butter tonight and you'll be okay.
Should be fine. Yeah.
Cascade agrees with me. Open water is not a problem. Just
Just
keep it pinned.
Pin it.
Just pin it, bud.
Okay, Germany.
Okay.
There's a long-standing tradition in Germany where single men turning 30 are required to go out and sweep the steps of the local church.
Wow.
Bullshit. After the last one, I'm calling bullshit. No, they're not.
This is supposed to give them a chance to show off how good they are at cleaning, and how could a woman resist?
Right?
Get married.
A bunch of birds, like. Yeah.
The Hungarians.
Interesting.
I'm
Just
just
like the-
awfully skeptical from here on out.
Okay, here's another one.
You should have did this in reverse order.
The Hungarians, just like the Brits, celebrate a birthday with birthday bumps.
Yes.
The Hungarians wish an individual good luck and happy birthday by pulling on their earlobes, though.
The old.
That's not the bumps that I know, but we're getting closer, at least, to something
That
I'm
one
familiar
seems
with.
believable, but
That one seems believable,
yeah,
right?
it's like people used to just pull on my earlobe to make me pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wade.
that's how I knew where to go.
Sorry.
Yeah,
What else do I got? I got two more here. The
that's
Caribbean.
how my dad would gently guide me to where I needed to be next.
Gently.
Oh, my bad. I wasn't supposed to be looking at that.
Oh,
Candy.
if my ear's going there, I should go there too.
That's right.
Seems logical.
Before we move on, Haney Construction says, is hitting a moose worse than hitting Prime Minister Sasquatch? What is that? I don't know what that means, but
What does that mean?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know if it's a Justin
Prime
Trudeau
Minister
shot,
Sasquatch.
but if it is, I would rather see him get hit than any moose.
Yep.
The moose didn't do anything to
I'd be
you.
willing to.
Moose
I'd even
didn't
be
do
willing to do the hitting.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind if it was the moose doing the hitting.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Caribbean.
Yep.
An individual of any age can expect to have their birthday celebrated with huge amounts of flour thrown at them.
Oh, this is antiquing.
This is jackass. Yeah.
The really unlucky ones will be covered in water first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Antiquing. That's
There you
it.
go.
Well, thanks.
And then the final one. In Switzerland, one of the strangest traditions is that parents in Switzerland will hire an evil clown for their child's birthday.
That should become a thing here.
Could you
Set some of
imagine?
these kids straight. You know?
Have you seen those videos where there's a guy that dresses up as a clown and drags an axe around in parking lots at night? Have you seen that?
That seems like you're gonna get beat up.
I would poop in my pants if I saw that. If I was like, oh man, if I was on my way to my vehicle and it was dark at nighttime and some guy in an it clown, like the it face,
Mm-hmm.
was dragging an axe on the ground walking towards me. Totally, it would be a disaster.
I feel like you'd get away with that in Canada, but
Hey,
like down in
Bryce?
the States. What?
Jot that down.
Halloween's coming, Wade.
I need some excitement in my life, and I think I found it.
Yeah.
You have security cameras outside, right?
Yeah.
So we can get it all on video.
Yep. Now that I'm 40, though, it's like a legit thing. You might poop your pants.
Yeah. No, you made me shit my pants. Yeah, that's it. No, really.
No, for real.
No,
That-
really.
You can smell it. I can smell it.
It wasn't just a little.
I don't like it right now.
Yeah.
Down there.
You got a month, buddy, and then it's all downhill for
Yeah.
you too.
I'm gonna
It's a strong month you're about to
live it up in the last month of 39. That's for sure.
That's it.
That's it.
all I
That's it.
got. Unless
Hey-
you want to know about China.
I do.
Their first birthday, they are given a career choice.
What?
Doctor or
Engineer.
Yeah. On this birthday, the child will be placed on the floor surrounded by objects, and the first object the child picks up is thought to be determined what they will grow up to be.
Okay.
that's how coronavirus happened. Kid picked the wrong thing.
It's a lot.
He was supposed to be. He was supposed to be a
picked
university
coronavirus.
professor.
That's a lot of.
He got into pathology and biomechanics. Ugh.
pretty important birthday.
Haney Construction says, which holiday is it when Canadians bathe in maple syrup? Listen, you don't need a holiday for that.
It just happened.
Am I right, boys? That's called Friday tonight.
Like it's Tuesday. That's a good Tuesday.
It's a special day when you get the polar bears to lick it off of you.
Right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'll go far enough north. I'll see if I can find one.
You can't anymore. Remember, the memes say that they're all starving and dead.
Right. They're moving south
Not
because it
enough
was
maple
minus
syrup.
30 here.
Yeah.
So they came here.
I'll give a little tidbit. I don't really like maple syrup that much.
Mhm.
I prefer fake maple syrup.
Fake maple syrup.
I said it, okay?
Me too.
No longer
I was still born here.
Me too.
no longer Aunt Jemima's. Did you guys hear about that
Yeah, I
one?
did hear it. Pearl
Oh.
Milling Company.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got the same ring.
But they still put Aunt Jemima's on the bottle. I just want to put that out there.
They what?
They still have, it's like Pearl Milling Company syrup, and then they have a little logo that said, used to be Aunt Jemima's.
Oh, for real? Well, that's going away.
We'll see.
The woke society will get rid of that. Anyway,
so there's another
I
meme.
also don't like maple syrup.
Yeah, like it's okay,
real maple syrup.
but we always have 2 maple syrup options in my house. Is it syrup or syrup, by the way?
Who knows? But
Maple
I know you write it.
syrup.
I know you write it with a crayon.
It's maple juice.
Yeah, exactly.
It's easier.
Sap. It's tree sap.
So my wife buys I quickly correct myself. I don't buy shit. I'm not involved in this process.
That's not true. There's a fridge in your office. You bought that just the other day.
That's called an independence box. That's what
yeah.
that is. That's where I can make my own decisions. We buy maple syrup, like real Canadian A grade, whatever maple syrup from Costco. Like
That stuff's pretty good.
it is. Like I think it's probably about as good as it gets. I'm going to offend Eric Terry.
Here we go.
Probably about as good as it gets when it comes right out of the jar at Costco. He's like, right now, he's like drinking syrup out of an actual tree. But we also buy the other stuff, and I don't remember what it is. It's like a no calorie, like fake maple syrup, and it's really good. I like it more.
The agave or whatever it is.
Yeah, I think it is actually. Well, I don't know if that's the case.
I don't know.
It is what it is, Bryce.
My favorite syrup when I
It's
was
artificially
a kid
sweetened though.
was corn syrup.
Corn syrup.
I loved corn syrup on pancakes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't done
Sprinkles and corn syrup.
I have not done that. But anyways, the rest of my family does the real maple syrup because my wife's like, she says she likes it better. She's confused, and and she says it's healthier than the chemical stuff that I like. So she gives that stuff to my kids. So I just have my own jars of syrup.
So you can just lick the top. You don't have to worry.
I could if I want to. Yeah,
You just drink
it's all chemicals. What's gonna happen?
Nothing.
right?
You'll live longer.
Right.
You're more artificial.
In fact, I
be
attribute the
purified.
syrup to why I haven't caught COVID yet. I think it's
Okay.
It's getting stuck.
It's made from ivermectin and hydrochloroquine or whatever it's called.
There you go.
Okay, do we have any more comments we need to touch on before we get into this here?
Does Canada have a strategic reserve of fake maple syrup?
Come on, everybody knows about the butter on the nose.
Eric, yeah. The butter and nose thing, I think, is a tradition we should make happen.
I think we should make that happen.
I want you to dig into where that came from. For next episode, you got to tell us, like, where is that actually happening? I think it's pretty rich that they're like, Canada?
Yep.
Anyway, Shane is being unfriendly, says Eric. Am I picking on him?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Here, I can tell you right now. Eastern Canada.
Eastern Canada, it says. There you go.
Well, the guys from Eastern Canada are saying no dice. I guess Ontario
The
is-
tradition began in Scotland.
Oh, so maybe okay.
I think we
so
were
maybe
right.
we need to get further. We need to keep going all the way to like the Maritimes, like East Coast, maybe.
East. The real East Coast.
Oh, now
know,
I could
The
totally
one that's
see
got
that.
a coast.
I could see that.
Screeching. And then butter on the nose.
Oh, here's one that I forgot about in Canada was the money cake. We do money cakes.
Oh,
I
we
remember
haven't.
that.
Not for a while, but I remember that.
Do you think that cake I got this morning has money in it?
You better
That
go to
would
the
have been a-
bathroom
Only
now.
one way to find out.
That would have been a very classic move if she would have done that.
Oh, Halifax.
Have you ever had to shit a loony out?
No.
Hey, Dex.ca Halifax just joined.
He said
And
represent.
He did. And we need to know, like, he missed the part about this. So he just joined. We were talking about birthday traditions from around the world. And Bryce read off one that was from Canada, apparently. A Canadian birthday tradition was it on Young? This is going to sound gross. Was it on Young Boys? Did you say Young Boys? Or is it any age?
Any age.
Okay. A birthday tradition is to wipe butter on the birthday person's nose.
The greasing of the nose.
Greasing of the nose. And we can't figure out where in Canada this is happening because
Not in the
we're
prairies.
striking out.
Not in Ontario. Not in Quebec.
Right.
Here they just gave you a whipping and told you to get back in the field.
Yeah.
So the the money cakes.
Yeah.
This was a thing growing up. Your parents would stick loonies,
Nope.
change quarters.
change. There'd be one loony, I'm pretty sure.
Loonies might not have been around yet,
It was
but
quarter.
they would stick quarters, whatever, and bake it inside the cake, and
Yes.
then you would eat it and be careful,
Fight with your friends over how much money you got.
right? It was like we were paying people to engorge.
Yeah. So I don't remember
Now we
it
just do
being a bunch of loony or quarters. I don't remember it being a bunch of quarters. I remember it was like only a couple that
Yeah.
got put into the cake. And so you'd have whatever, 6 or 7 people over and only 2 people would get quarters. And they were the lucky ones. And
Yeah.
blah, blah.
And I remember winning one.
Another reason to.
I remember
like,
winning one in elementary school.
Right.
There was like a day, whatever, at the gym, and like there, I don't know, some fun day for a holiday probably, and there was like baking you could win, and I won a money cake. Best day of my life.
Yeah.
How much money was in it?
I don't remember.
How long did it take you to get all the money?
Yeah.
Smash. Boom.
Yeah. It was probably $1.25 worth in there, but today that'd be worth like $7.
That's right.
Speaking of which, Bitcoin has like just surged incredibly, right? And there's a story going out there right now about a guy who back in 2012 or 13, I think it was, bought a pizza. He bought pizza one night because he found a pizza joint that would take Bitcoin back then. And he thought, sweet, I'm going to pay them
In Bitcoin.
And I can't remember how many Bitcoins he had.
Probably paid them
Like
one.
paid them with like, it was like 10,000 Bitcoin or 1,000 Bitcoin or something like that for these two pizzas. It was, the value at the time was $40.
Okay.
That same Bitcoin now is worth, I think it was like $470 million or something now.
And the pizza place is like, yeah.
You guys should have started accepting Bitcoin years ago.
Dude bought pizzas 8 years ago. He would be a half billionaire had he not just bought the pizzas. Like, who could see that coming?
Currency is currency.
Do you think the pizza place kept that? Like,
Who knows?
Right? Like
did they turn it into money right away, or did they?
Somebody ended up with that and is cashing in like madman now.
Speaking of cashing in, did you guys see the guy that this has absolutely nothing to do with decking?
This whole podcast. Has
We're
nothing
21
to do
minutes
I
in. We
think
haven't
we'll
even
just
talked
like
about it.
we'll talk about the topic next week.
Shoot.
It's your birthday today.
It's my
We're going to
birthday. Thanks for listening to us ramble. The guy that placed a bet whether there would be a streaker at the football game at the Super Bowl. Did you see this?
Yep.
So he went in.
They're not paying him, I heard though.
Really? Well, that's not fair.
I don't know what the reason was, but the betting house
So-
is like, nope, we're not paying you that.
He put a bet on, call it $1,000. I don't know what the actual number was, what his bet was, but he bet, say $1,000, that there would be a streaker
Right.
during the Super Bowl. And then he streaked. And the payout was $375,000. And so he was the one who did the streaking.
Yep.
And they were going to pay him. But now you're saying they're not.
The last I had read that the whatever betting site he used was like
No. You did that.
violates our terms, or I don't know what reason they were given, but they're like, we're not paying that out.
That's not fair.
I heard that guy at the Super Bowl streaks at every Super Bowl and every major world event.
Really?
He writes his website on his chest.
Oh, I've seen that guy before. He's like PGA events and everything.
Yeah, that guy.
Anyways, he's playing a different game than everybody else. And
That's
I
right.
thought that was good for him.
That was good for him. Stacking the odds.
Yep.
Dex.ca Halifax clarifies, I've heard of smashing the cake into the person's face and the money cake, but butter nose? That's weird.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
There
so
you
it
go.
doesn't exist.
So it happens in BC or the Northwest Territories, or it doesn't happen.
Or it doesn't happen.
Like, where does this shit come from? TC Dex says, holy cow, no wonder Canadians are more immune to COVID. Eating money cakes must boost your germ immunity. That's the funny thing. Like, back then, it was just, you just put the money in your mouth as part of eating the cake and you spit the quarter out. And then I remember at one point, I don't know if this was just my mom or if it was like if it was a movement, but they started wrapping the coin, like putting
parchment paper.
Right. They put them in like saran wrap or something, right? To like
My mom's a
keep the
nurse.
germs out of the cake.
That never happened. The coins went in right out of Dad's pocket, probably.
You know, I think the world would be a better place if we just started eating money a little bit more again.
Yes. Put
Like,
money back in your mouth.
There's a correlation here from the time that we stopped making and eating money cakes to when the world started to go to shit.
Yep.
Is that a scientific correlation?
Change my mind.
I can
The timing-
I'll change it.
When timing works.
Yeah. When you stopped getting your ears pulling you around,
That's right.
when you were less guided by your ear and stopped eating money cake.
I'm telling you.
Go home.
For my birthday, it's in a month.
Money
I want a
cake?
money cake. I'm going to tell
Money
my
cake.
wife I want a money cake.
I'll text her. I'll let her know.
Cascade says he finds it hard to believe that the streaker story is true. It's true.
The streakers.
It's a real thing. CNN
streaked.
said so. And then he offers to be the streaker at every Ultimate Deck podcast.
Okay.
Can you imagine? Can you
We have
imagine
a
the viewership
streaker?
we'd have then? Every
want a
podcast.
streaker?
Welcome to 119.
But every day he's got someone else written across his chest.
Right? So anyway, Finkelberry says, happy birthday, Wade.
Thanks, buddy.
And Haney Construction says, the streaker ran further than anyone on the entire Kansas City team.
Hey yo.
True story. So, Dex.ca Halifax, remember that line from the movie Grumpy Old Men? Anybody know what he's talking about?
Nope.
Okay, good. Let's go on to...
He'll bring it up, and then we'll give her.
Sure. I caught Bryce just as he was trying to eat the birthday cake from you. Today we're doing an episode of...
Uselessness.
Question and answer from Instagram. We posted a story yesterday asking you for questions so we could provide the answers, and we got a few.
We got some.
There wasn't enough to make a whole episode out of it, so we talked shit for 25 minutes to fill up some time. Now we'll go through our 4 questions. Bryce, are you ready for those things?
Yeah.
You got the things with the
Did it pop up?
things?
Not yet.
It's a delayed thing for us here. So
Okay, the first question is from Precision Construction.
yeah, it is.
When is the arm wrestling episode?
Right now. I wouldn't want to take advantage of a senior citizen. Let's wait a month.
Yeah, let's wait a month
Till
until
we're
you
at
guys
least
are evenly
both
matched.
40.
Don't worry. Oh, there it is. There's a question just popped up. Yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Is this going to happen at some point?
Yeah.
I don't give 2 shits to do it.
Oh.
But
Neither
if
do I.
if people want to do it, like I'll do it because we're showmen.
We're showing. That's right.
I think we're both scared to lose.
I have 0 to. I don't care if I win or lose.
Good.
And that's why I don't care to do it because it
Good
doesn't
that
matter.
you
to me.
lose because it
Yeah.
it
let's
matters to me.
Let's
I don't
treat
want
this
to
like a real wrestling.
I'm gonna bet $1,000 on Wade and throw it.
We got to do all this shit talking first, too.
make $375,000.
Yep. I'm guessing that's why they're trying not to pay it out because like there must be some sort of thing where you can't bet on things that you can influence. You know what I mean? Like it's illegal
Well,
for
that's
a
in sports, too.
exactly. It's
right?
illegal for an athlete to throw a game or something.
Yeah.
It's illegal.
Pete Rose stuff.
So for you to like bet on something and then you make it happen, or like how can that be a thing? Like what do you?
You could bet on yourself to win, can't you?
Yeah, but like you can bet on also some of those sites let you
Anyways.
bet on whatever you want. It's like, oh, I bet there's a beer can thrown in the field. Now you go there and throw a beer can in the field. Like
That's true.
there's gotta be something around that, right?
Yep.
Okay, and here's another one from Precision Construction. If you could change one thing about the industry for the better, what would it be?
Oh boy.
This is precision too.
Yeah. He was like back to back.
You like asked the first question, smoked a joint, and then got super serious, or
They
what?
got serious on you guys.
Okay, so if you could change one thing about the industry for the better, what would it be?
The decking industry. Let's be specific.
Boy, oh boy.
I thought you were about to say something. That's why I paused. I'm not even thinking anymore. I'm waiting for you to give me ideas.
Wade's buffering because he's 40 now.
Thing about the decking industry.
I don't know that anybody will like this, but it's top of mind. I was thinking about it yesterday, actually. I wish the manufacturers set an MSRP on their decking.
They don't?
Nope.
That's a good one.
And so I don't know that that's good for the consumer, but it's certainly good for like contractors competing against each other because all the lumber yards would be selling it at a pretty similar price. But right now what happens is you have the odd, like a box store will dump the price on some stuff for a month and you might lose a job because you don't shop at Home Depot, you shop at wherever, a local lumber yard, and your competitor shops at the box store, and so he gets his product lower, and then you lose your job, and everybody loses money on that one except the homeowner.
Is the construction industry like that in general? Like,
Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot of MSRPs set in this industry.
yeah.
So, anyways, and yeah, it's just like even if somebody decides to sell direct to consumer, as long as they follow the MSRP, then it's okay. Leave some meat on the bone for your stores.
Thank you for giving me time to think of a really good one.
You're welcome.
Because I was going to give one that was okay. And then as you talked, I thought of a good one. I would like to see, I'm not a big government guy, but I'd like to see some more legislation or things put in place that allow for collection of payment from contractors, from anybody that's owed money in this industry. Because I feel like, and it probably depends on where you're from, but I feel like your means of trying to collect on things after a certain amount of time, whatever, is like, it's next to none in some cases. If somebody decides not to pay you, what do
You
What
go
do
to
you do?
you
just
take 'em
like
to court, and it usually doesn't work.
right. That's my point. And especially on a smaller claim on something, you take them to court, you win the judgment, and so then what? So nobody enforces it for you.
Correct.
It's just you take the guy to court, you win.
Yep.
Judge is like, yes, you do actually owe him the $5,000.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Then he doesn't pay.
You walk out, he doesn't pay, and nobody, like, there's no legal recourse. Like, like the cops don't follow up and be like, pay him.
It's because they're busy checking coronaviruses, making sure you don't have too many people at your house.
That's right.
And so that is bogus because we've been burnt a couple times on smaller, like, thankfully not on anything big, but on smaller ones. And it's like, you just end up writing it off and eating it. And that's bullshit. There should be some recourse that you can take that guarantees you get your money out of that.
Yeah, you can send it to collections, and then what happens is you end up having to give up a percentage of that.
Yeah,
right?
most of it. And if they can
30%
ever
or
even
something,
collect or
but
sell your debts off. Yeah, it's just like there's no good recourse to that kind of stuff. And I know it's like it's a bigger deal for contractors even. Like they get burnt more often.
Yeah.
Just live ended for some reason.
Yeah, ended.
And then you lose your questions or what?
Well, I hope not.
And so I would like to see something around that. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how it is, but what I know is that the current system doesn't work. Current system's like ask for money, charge interest, they don't care.
Nobody
they don't
cares.
pay. They decide not to pay. And then what do? You either eat it or you threaten to take them to court, or maybe you do take them to court, and then, like I said, then the judgment is just not enforced.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're screwed.
Yep.
It's not good.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I'd like to see that change. That'd be my request for an industry change.
We're back.
Okay, you lost
We're
that
back.
question. That's too bad.
I got it. We're back.
Hey, I have a date with J-Lo now. A notification just said from Triller, I got a date with J-Lo.
You have a date with J-Lo?
Hey, listen, this is news to me too.
Big day. Thought it was
like-
my birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay. Everybody's back. Okay.
Everybody's back.
No. Not those questions. There was like people had
Hold on.
commented in there.
Bryce is still loading.
People had commented in the feed, and then now
Oh, yeah, we lost
that's
those.
low.
We lost those.
Oh, there
That's
was
what I
a,
meant.
yeah, there was.
Hello from the Cedar Shop in Calgary.
Hello.
What's up?
Good day, friends in Calgary at Cedar Shop.
I was just talking about you. My brother-in-law was at the Cedar Shop in Calgary. He was super impressed with the store. He was like, that place is really nice. The customer service was great.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I was like, those are our boys. I know those guys. So
Did he go across the street?
he did not go across the street because those are not the nice guys.
The nice guys over there?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay. Decks and Fences by Ryan asks, any new decking trends?
Okay, before we get to that, Haney Construction brings up a point about
okay.
property liens, mechanics liens, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, and in the U.S. they're called
That-
mechanics.
That is a discourse, and I don't know, depending on the area, you've only got so much time to put it on.
So
and it's
that-
not.
That would be the thing I would like to see changed. So
Yeah.
right now you have 45 days to put a lien on a property
At what point, though?
in Canada. 45 days from
From?
the time you finish working there.
Okay.
And so it is not uncommon to have somebody pay you 60 days after you finish.
Mhm.
That is not an uncommon thing. And so I think you should be allowed to lien the property for 90 days after you finish.
Mhm.
Because if you get to the point of 60 days and they haven't paid you, then you can go lien their property. But right now, at 45 days, that's a month and a half, and that's not uncommon.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, like it'd be nice if people paid faster than that, but they don't.
Yeah.
Typically. And so in Canada, our opportunity to lien a property is gone before you're even really aware that you're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
And the other problem with that is even if you do it, it may not be effective because it only really is leverage if somebody wants to go and sell that house.
Right. So you have to keep renewing it. But-
so you just go
But
further
it
and
does
further in
stay.
debt.
Like it does stay.
It
on
stays,
the
but
house
if you're,
forever.
but if somebody, like if you do this house for somebody who's 48 and they're going to live in that house for the rest of their lives, it doesn't matter to them.
Yep.
You got to lean on it. Who gives a shit?
Yep.
It only matters when you go to sell.
Or remortgage. Like you can't remortgage a house with a lien on it.
Sure. Maybe
you got
a
5 years
mortgage
then.
potentially. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if the
Unless
house
you
is
don't have,
paid for,
don't have a mortgage. Like it's
Yeah.
not perfect. That's
No.
for sure. It's an option. So Cascade saying liens are effective as long as you follow the process. I imagine the process is probably different depending on where you go. But I personally here the way they run here, I don't feel like they're super effective.
Yeah.
They can be effective, but they're not 100% effective.
And if you're the small man on the totem pole, like if you're low, like
God, I live there.
exactly, right? $5,000 deck, but they did a $200,000 renovation on their house, you're not getting paid.
you're not getting paid.
It doesn't matter how many liens you put on. You're the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the other problem too, right? Yeah. So And we had that shakeout this year with a home builder that went upside down. And like we were owed some money. But it was a drop in the bucket compared to some other guys that were owed money.
Maybe it isn't all of Canada. Maybe it's just Saskatchewan, right? Eric's got 90 days.
Eric's got 90 days. That's a little bit better.
That's better. That's what it should be.
It's because he's from Quebec.
Yeah.
They're a little, you know.
It's a thing.
Mark Johnson's in here. He should get on the mic. Now I feel like we're being judged for our mic presence.
No.
We got Regina's finest radio DJ
He should have
live
brought
on
us
the podcast.
He should have brought us a cake. Did you see he took Chad and Ballsy a cake?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he got them a 10-year anniversary cake. It's been 5 for us, so
Cough it up, Johnson.
bring us a cake.
Where's the cake?
Wade's 40, so make sure it doesn't have any gluten.
It's got to be gluten-free.
That's not
like-
true. All gluten, all sugar, eggs, dairy.
Just a gluten cake.
Put it all in there. Garlic, onions, everything.
Pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Make it a money cake too, Johnson. And he should be well aware of that. He's our age, and he works at a station that plays music from our decade.
Yep.
He needs to talk. On my drive to work tomorrow, I want to hear him talk about money cakes.
Okay.
Deal?
You better shoot him a text. He probably just popped in accidentally.
Yeah, he was like, oh, sorry, guys.
Swipe back. Shit, close
How
app.
am I doing in
Close
here?
app, restart phone.
Okay, let's move on
Finally.
because we only have like 5 questions. Decks and Fences by Ryan says, any new decking trends in 2021? Yes, we already did that episode.
Yeah. Refer to episode 93. Decking trends. This is always a tough one because trends don't change overnight, right? And we do this every year, but I don't think there's anything changing. I think the trend of the colors is staying the same. Like we're seeing warm grays become the thing, and that's just further reinforced this year with some, Fiberons releasing another board of that, whatever you want to call it, hue in the market again this year.
Mm-hmm.
We expect it to do really well. We did do that episode a few ago about 5 trends going into 2021 from perspective of HGTVs, that great lady from HGTV and Trex. And I think the main trend, if we're going to try to wrap this up into one comment, is outdoor living is getting a boost again. So outdoor living got a boost when HGTV and DIY networks started putting television content out there of people pimping out their backyards. When you started to see, what was that show? Cribs?
Pimp My
MTV
Ride.
Cribs? So MTV Cribs, we got to go into people's houses and see how they lived and whatever, right? And then these other shows followed up that were kind of renovation focused and showed you what your backyard could be. It's like now you can dream about somebody's backyard even, because Paul of France went and turned the place upside down and started building $300,000 decks.
Right.
And then people are like, damn,
You can do that.
you can do that in an hour? And then, so...
No problem.
That spurred this whole thing of like, I would really want to have that. Like, that looks incredible to have a space like that outside. Can you imagine? And some people started thinking like, oh, we should do something like that. It can't be that scale, but let's put some more attention in the backyard. So that's been a thing for a while. But all of a sudden with COVID, it's getting another boost because now it's not just a want, it's almost a need.
You're stuck there.
You almost have to have that outdoor living space now.
Yeah.
So I think the trend is people are going to start spending more money in their backyards and doing some features they maybe wouldn't have done before. We talked about that one episode about maybe potential workspaces outside, offices. But certainly lounging spaces and fire tables have been a thing for a while, and I think that's going to surge again.
Yes.
Hot tubs have blown up last year.
RVs. Basically, it was anything that brings people together.
Leisure activities, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of that leisure can happen in your own backyard. Trust me, I know. Tall fence.
Tall fence.
But I think
light breeze. Oh, yeah.
But I think that's the trend. I think the trend is fancier, upgraded backyards. People are going to spend more money there. They may even opt to do that instead of their kitchen renos now because they just want to get out of their house, and that's the easiest way to do that now.
Yeah.
That's as far as they are allowed to go.
Yep. Eric Taru says metal. Did you have a different one? Or did you want to turn? I talked a lot there.
You did. I'm used to it, though.
You did.
It happens.
I gave you the day off because it's your birthday.
So a few
Eric
comments.
Taru says metal framing should continue to be on the rise. So
there
if
was
we
a-
look...
There was someone that asked steel or wood. Right there. There you go.
Oh, so we can add that question in here.
Varney thinks it happens in 30 minutes.
30 minutes,
Not an hour.
It's an hour minus commercial breaks, so 44 minutes, $300,000 deck builds. Eric Taru says, we should have those kinds of shows here in Quebec. Did they never get that? Like, they didn't get...
Because they didn't translate them into French.
Right?
Maybe?
I guess.
I don't know. I don't feel bad for you. You got 90-day liens.
Yeah,
You're winning.
So
We got
That's
better
the show.
TV. You get your money.
we have a live question in here. Perfect View Deck Simon popped in here. Yep. Look at I missed all these comments. Carly used to get pennies in his cake.
I didn't see that.
Ouch. M1 Merch says steel versus wood framing. Thoughts? Wade, I'll let you take
I
this.
believe that steel is probably going to trend a little bit better this year than it has. And that's for a couple of reasons. People are talking about it a lot more, and the price of lumber is way up. And so the difference between steel and wood isn't as far as it once was.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to let you know that Glenda Balls is in here now. So continue.
Anyways, that's it. That was it. That was all I had. I think steel is going to trend more this year. It still won't be trendy, but
Certainly the environment is prepped and
Primed.
ready and primed for the transition to steel framing for a lot of reasons, but primarily the cost of wood.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all like it spiked mid last year all the way to the end of the year.
Yep.
It softened at Christmas in case anybody wanted to put a fence under their Christmas tree, just a little bit.
Just a tiny fence.
Then came back to high, and everything we're hearing, not hearing, my emails I have from those that make wood tell me that the prices are going to go up in Q2 again. So it's already high right now, but if you're thinking you're going to wait this out, you're just going to go without a deck this summer because it's only going up. So what used to be 4 years ago, a 4 times multiplier to go from treated lumber to steel. So that's a big jump.
Yep.
You know, it's on one of the cheapest portions of the deck. So it wasn't like the whole project went up 4 times, but it made a dent. Then you start getting some products that come out that are more user friendly. That's a big piece of it. That's part of it being primed. So Fortress Evolution's really nice system that they've got out there now. Looks good and installs really well. Really well thought out system. They've removed a lot of the friction on how you get the product and get it approved and engineered and all that stuff. They've thought that through. They're marketing it well.
Some of the companies have come up with fasteners to fasten the decking down. That used to be a hurdle. You didn't have like a proper self-drilling or self-tapping screw to fasten the decking down with. That's more available.
Yeah, and through one of the most popular fasteners in the market now, Camo Fasteners, that everybody's raving about anyway, now has their metal screw. So
and Fastenmaster does it for your fascia screws and etc. Right? So Fastenmaster has some color match screws that will go down, and Camo has some ones like for the hidden fasteners, the clips for hidden fasteners. Trex probably still has theirs too, right? The Trex Elevations clip.
I don't know because they've discontinued the steel framing itself. So I don't know if I don't know what happened to the clip, to be honest. I don't know that.
We'll have to
so that's happening, and then the cost of the steel has been coming down, and so well, maybe not the cost of steel, but the systems that are being put out there are not as expensive as they were. So Fortress used to say that their framing was only 2.5 times the price of lumber instead of 4 that the Trex one was before. And now that was when lumber was reasonably priced, and now lumber's doubled. Right. So now the gap is probably like, what are we talking? 50% more, maybe?
I was going to say 50 to 75% more on the least expensive part of your deck.
Really?
So now we're talking about like wood, like deck, really nice deck, wood framed, 20 grand. Really nice deck, steel framed, 21 grand.
Or 22, yep.
Or whatever, right?
Wow.
Like, so it's not
gonna
that much
last
anymore.
Forever.
It's less than 10% on your whole build.
Yeah.
So like it's certainly ready. Now the only thing is awareness. The customers need to know it's even an option.
Mm-hmm.
And they're only going to find that out
if we come in.
That's right.
They're only going to find that out if the contractors are pushing it. And that's the Great White Hope, or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Like you need the contractors now to go to bat for you and try to sell it, because a lot of them are still going to be, they're not living and breathing this stuff sometimes as much as we do, or the guys that are in this podcast are doing. The average contractor is not researching every night about the new products coming out. He's installing what he knows.
Yeah, because they don't want to do that stuff. They don't want to
build
change
decks.
They don't want to change what they're doing. They already have a system and they're familiar with it, and they like it, and so they don't want to get new tools and have to go through that stuff.
So now that's Fortress's job. Fortress's job is to partner with people like us who talk to contractors every day and get them the information they need to know to remove the final resistance and the fear of changing how you do things, and start selling the decking. The framing. If they can get to that stage and the contractors are going to the homeowners and be like, would you like to do this wood, or would you like to have this deck last forever and do steel for only a little bit more? to the customer, that's like a lot of them are going to be like, yeah, for the extra 5 or 10%, why wouldn't I do that?
Right.
Yeah.
And so then it happens. Then the cycle happens.
Go from
So
a 20-year deck to a lifetime deck.
I think this
Just
year is going to be
over.
the first kind of like baby step into that. It's going to become a little bit more common.
Mhm.
It's going to take years, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
And then who knows what lumber does down the road. But certainly if you're building a deck this year, it's one to consider. Dex.ca Halifax says, I agree regarding metal. We put composite/PVC worth 25 to 50 year warranty on top of pressure treated. That frame won't last as long as the decking. And yes, price increase in PT is tipping the scales.
Yeah. Yep.
Precision Construction Scott, who's a big steel proponent, says steel just took a big jump, damn it. So steel price is also going up, so maybe it's going to map each other. Quigley says if you rub butter on your nose, the negative effect of not getting paid will just slide off. That's like stand-up comedy, the loop when you bring it back home right there.
That's right.
You just do that.
That's so good.
Awesome. Yeah, people talking about steel going up a bit too, so that's gonna affect some things here.
Yeah.
But, it is Scott's fault. Eric Turu says it's all your fault, Scott. You trendsetter, you.
Yeah.
And like Scott single-handedly increased the demand for steel, therefore the price goes up.
Yep.
Simple economic.
Guy goes
Sing-
on, gets two
Single goes.
podcasts, and boom.
What else we got here? This is an active group today. There is a lot of comments on
Has
here.
everybody been drinking because it's my birthday?
That's why. Yeah.
Haney Construction says, I don't think you're talking to anyone average here.
That's
He means
true.
We're
Yeah.
all deck nerds.
Yeah.
that's the
true.
thing, right? Like this audience,
Mhm.
if you're spending your Friday
Watching the
lunch
live-
hour watching a live podcast that you could just listen to
Right, exactly.
later when you're not doing anything,
I gotta get it now.
you're in it. You're one of us.
I was like, watch the viewership, just like boom, 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 down to 4.
You mean you can watch this
See you
later?
19 right now, consistently through. That's good. So Precision Construction says, I finally have people finding me directly because they want steel. It's worth the past 5-year grind. With you guys and more guys like Simcoe, Eric, and Cascade doing steel is raising consumer awareness.
Yep. Beauty.
So, yeah. There, I think we answered that question pretty thoroughly.
Yep. My buddy Kevin
We
is
got
in
any-
there.
We got any more questions?
We do. We have
Hi, Kevin.
2 more questions.
Hi, Kevin. Deck nerds are my kind of people. He says.
Okay, Maverick Decks is curious about your financials for the 2020 deck season. How much were sales up over 2019?
I saw this question there and I was like,
I don't know if we should
a
be
little
answering
personal.
that. Yeah. Well,
I don't know, but I wasn't
in
going to
our
be
broad
yeah,
about
like
it.
in our account, we have.
Yeah.
Bryce,
Bryce, can you log into our banking and put that on the screen? Let's go through this line by line.
We are reconciling a couple of last items, and we might as well just talk about it.
Okay, sorry, can you read that again so I can take a
up
high
there.
level approach
Right
to that?
there.
Oh,
Yeah, it's up there.
this is slick as shit.
Technology.
Financials for the 2020 deck season. How much were sales up year over year from 2019? So we're a bit of a unique scenario in that we opened a second location at the start of the pandemic. And so the industry, what you heard a lot in the industry was like, oh, home renovations are through the roof. People are crushing it.
Mhm.
A lot of lumberyards were like, we're way, way up. And I think in Wade's and Mai's Wade's and mine? Wade's and Mowers. Wade's and Mowers.
OUR.
Yeah, you can just get rid of the names.
How do you say that as a Canadian? Ur mindset. Because we've been a quick growth kind of and we were through the first 5 years in a heavy growth stage. Our idea of big growth in a year is different than I think a lumberyard that's been around for 50 years. And so
Correct.
what we did for growth, we're like, it's okay. But I think that's probably the same number that everybody else was raving about, right? Because we did have a call with our buying group a couple weeks ago. They said that in the buying group, which is 500 lumberyards in Canada, average increase in purchases was, I think he said 13%.
Correct.
Up over 2019. So the industry as a whole was up 13%. And yeah, that's a large number. To see double-digit growth from a lumberyard that's been around for a long time is pretty much unheard of. So it was a big step in the right direction. So, and our Regina location was right in line with that.
Correct.
We basically did that.
Oh, there you
Regina was 13%.
Yeah. So,
But as a whole,
Yeah.
lost the live. Read the questions quick.
oh boy. Oh boy. No, I was going to screenshot it and I lost it. So overall, it was up. In our scenario, did that help us completely? No, it didn't, because it also took away a lot of our ability to get our name out there with our new location in a new market, because we got the home shows taken away and we got like gatherings taken away, and all that stuff we were using to promote our business was pulled from us. And so sure, we were up a little bit in Regina. We were way down from where we wanted to be in Saskatoon.
Right.
From where you wanted to be, but was it still acceptable?
Like,
are you going to get that bank account put up on the screen there?
of course it's acceptable.
You know what I mean? Like, are you?
I've made
you're not,
peace
are you
with the
worried
number
about it?
No, I'm not worried.
We're not worried.
I'm not worried about it. I just it's disappointing.
Just one step back.
You know, when you sit down and you have 6 donuts in front of you and you tell yourself you're only going to eat half of one, and then you eat all of them, you feel shitty. It's like, it's probably okay because I'm going to work out today. Bad analogy, right? But
it's a bad analogy. It's like when you bet on yourself to go streaking in the Super Bowl, and then
you do.
Exactly.
And you do, and then
they don't
take
pay
that away from you.
So I think what I would say is, all things considered, when you look at the picture in hindsight,
yes,
I'm okay with where we ended up there.
Good.
I think there's a lot of good news stories.
So is there?
If I just simply be like, what did we plan to do there versus what did we do? That's that looks like a bad thing.
Grew quite a bit as a company, whole company.
Internally too, right? Like
internally.
Yeah. So we had,
and on the outside too, right?
Percentage wise, it was quite large growth.
Yeah.
Top line to top line.
Right.
But our expenses last year also grew significantly.
Mm-hmm.
And so we didn't net out with growth, if that makes sense.
Yep.
We netted out less, but we have a new store. So
there's that.
So there's the whole that.
Yeah. So this year will be pretty strong, I would think.
So that kind of leads into the next question, which was, did increased sales equal increased profits?
We did.
I feel like the jury will be out on that until we get our financials. I don't know if he's asking this like personally about our store or what do you like. I don't know what level of depth he's asking here, but too early to say, I guess, for me. I think that we're at a point now, at least in our Regina store, where we're staffed as much as we're going to need to be staffed. So any additional revenue on top, as long as you maintain your margins, is going to be more profitable because you're going to be able to do it with the same lease on your building and the same overhead and the same people, and everybody's just going to move a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So it should have been, and it looks like it probably was, but until we get like the formal accountant's review of everything, I guess I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah, and so at my first guess would be that, again, 2020 was more profitable, but we had a lot more expenses, and so we didn't end any better.
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
So then, by definition, you're saying it wasn't more profitable. You're saying you had more revenue, more expenses,
we had
same
more,
profit.
Yeah, less profit maybe. We had slightly more revenue, quite a few more expenses, and so less profitable. But had the expenses not been there, so we had another building. We rented the location that we didn't even use last year, and in 2021 that's gone. Or the most of it. So anyways, like our expenses will be down in 2021.
So that won't even be on.
Yeah. So it's
you won't
tricky.
have 3 buildings.
Yeah. And only use 2 of them. So I think 2021 is going to be a pretty incredible year for us. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we have the opportunity to have all of that outdoor growth that everybody's talking about.
The next question is from Carly, who works in Saskatoon. Where and when is payroll going to be done for today? I haven't seen my paycheck. So. I just had that notification pop down a couple of times. Like,
were you listening to the other? Expenses are way up.
This is Cascade just said what I was thinking while you were talking. Yeah, if we didn't have expenses, we would have made a lot more too.
Okay, final question from TC Decks. Who's your favorite deck builder? Juanita just joined too.
She can hear on the other side of the wall how much fun we're having, so she's like, "Well, I got to be a part of that." I feel like he's like, this is a little leading question. He's like fishing. He's like, it's TC Decks for sure. I don't know what he's done. My questionless answer was going to be the guy who builds the most decks and buys the materials from us. That's my favorite guy right now. The guy who spends the most at our stores. He's my favorite.
I'm not answering that question. I'm pleading a fifth. Yeah, look, we have a great group of guys in here. That's it.
I like
quite a few of our guys.
I like every deck builder who runs a solid business and is a good person and is part of this community and provides value back to it. I like you all equally. I'm not going to say I like one guy more than another because I don't. The guy you want me to say, I don't like him.
Yeah, maybe it was
kidding.
Maybe it was Paul LaFrance because he actually did this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he lit this whole thing up.
Mm-hmm.
But
he was joking. TZ's joking.
TZ Dex is my favorite deck builder. He's my favorite guy. I like that TZ Dex.
yeah, it was.
Now he's got the soundbite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be on his radio ads this year. Why choose us?
I like that TZ Dex. He's a real good dude.
Ultimate Deck Podcast approved.
Eric says that's a question you can't answer right. Yeah, you make one guy happy and piss a bunch of other guys off.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think anybody that's helping grow other guys' businesses, right? So,
and my answer would be I have different answers to this depending on what we're talking about. Like, who's your favorite deck builder like that runs their business the best? That's a different answer than who builds the coolest projects or who's the most personable or who. So I know that we had there's a magazine article thing being written about the podcast through our buying group too, and they had some questions the other day, and one of the questions was, this is a good question for you. One of the questions was, who is your favorite guest you've ever had in the podcast? So I'll pose that question to you.
Uh-oh.
oh boy.
While you think about that, Precision Construction says, you guys going to watch the NADRA Awards presentation tonight?
No.
Didn't know that was how far I've dropped from the radar of the NADRA.
Boy, oh boy, I don't know who my favorite has been. There was absolutely zero content provided, but I loved the conversation with the Bro-Laws.
Yeah, that was my answer.
Was it?
Well, I was going into it depends on what you're talking about. And so my answer to her was the same. It depends on what you're talking about. My favorite personal podcast ever was the podcast of the Bro-Laws. We had the most fun. It was we laughed our asses off. But it was so I bounced between 2 or 3 of them, but they were all in-person ones. So I liked when we sat down at the podcast at the decorators booth and we had a whole bunch of people come and sit and talk with us. Yep, that one was really good too.
So that one was amazing. That was the 50th, right?
That was the 50th.
Because we did
in and around there,
yeah. So we did that one. Anyways, so that one was fantastic, but it was an in-person one, and so you got to visit with all of your the Instagram buddies, and then the Bro-Laws one, Cascades was super valuable.
So that's one I put in there. I said Cascade, if we're talking about from a sheer value perspective, who gave us the best insights.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Scott's with the steel framing from Precision is incredible, and that one's been it comes up all the time. All we talk about since we had Scott on the podcast is steel framing. We talk about it every episode now.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has changed how this podcast's done. Yeah, there's a few.
So I had said from a value perspective, Cascade interview I thought was a really good one.
Yeah.
From my own personal, one that I am fond of was the Bro-Laws in-person one.
Yeah.
And the other one I put in was the one with Paul LaFrance. And for
he
me,
was
that
on
was
his
just
couch. Yeah,
that was just because maybe gave some street cred to the podcast because he we just talked about him today.
Yep.
He kind of started or certainly stoked the fire of the outdoor living movement, and so to have him on the podcast, I think was something that our viewers really liked. That was one of our best watched Instagram lives.
Mm-hmm.
Was that one? So I thought that was a cool episode too.
Yep.
Yeah. Eric says, when we can travel, where's the party going to be?
Dallas this fall.
Yeah. What do you think the odds are of that happening?
Poor.
Yeah.
Medium.
So
when is it? November?
So here's what I think.
October, November?
I do believe that the U.S. will be open. I still think Canada is going to be I don't think they're going to be handling it properly. I was chatting with a guy yesterday
Going to be.
who said,
as if they're doing it right now.
He said that he's hopeful that probably in 60 days from now, we will have the majority of people over 70 vaccinated. And then once that happens, it can be okay, let's start to open up. So then spring comes, your older or elderly population is vaccinated, and it's all right, everybody just kind of go to it now. Because we protected the people that we were most concerned about. The rest of you, your odds are pretty good. So,
And this is a respiratory illness. Much like, don't shit on me anywhere for saying this. Much like the flu. I'm not saying...
it's over.
I'm going to message right now.
I'm not saying in severity. I'm talking about in what it affects in your body. And respiratory illnesses surge in the winter and soften in the summer.
Yep.
So all I'm saying is that you can expect that as things warm up, the transmission rates of this thing should drop like all respiratory illnesses do.
Yeah.
And if you look in Saskatchewan right now, at least within our area, the case numbers have dropped by about half from what they were about a month ago.
I believe that was because it was minus 30 for 2 weeks and nobody left their house.
100%.
Yeah, you couldn't go outside.
Good.
So we seem to be trending in the right direction, and then combine that with the fact that the vaccine rollout's going to happen and the weather's warming up. Why aren't we going to be opening things up by June?
Yeah,
like
so
that's where I'm at, but
I don't know.
I don't know that we will, but it's
hard to know if I believe the show will happen. I believe that the Deck Expo Pool Spa show that is scheduled for November in Dallas will happen. And it'll be an in-person thing. Whether we can get there or not, I don't know. But if I don't have to quarantine for 14 days when we come back, I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be on the plane.
Yeah.
Some of those places are asking you to quarantine when you get there, too.
right. Yeah. So I just talked to a guy yesterday. They were doing some railing stuff with, and I didn't ask details. I don't know him really well, but he said had to go take his daughter down to the Mayo Clinic, Mayo Clinic, Mayo Clinic.
Yeah.
And they had to go down, quarantine for 14 days there, do their stuff at the clinic, and then come back and quarantine for 14 days here. He's like, so we were
freaking month.
We were out of commission for a month. That's why you haven't heard from me, kind of thing. And I was like, holy smokes, okay. So that's not ideal.
Wild.
But I agree that like once we get that population that's over 60 years old, over 70 years old vaccinated, those are the ones that have the rates that are concerning. And the ones that are 99.9997 survival rate when you get it, let's go.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be there.
Yeah.
And then we can party like it's my 40th birthday. Then we can have my 40th birthday party in Dallas in November.
We could just have 2 birthday parties.
Yep. I've always wanted
40,
2 birthdays.
41.
I've always wanted to have 2 birthdays.
You can have mine.
No. I want a mid-year birthday. I want like a 40 and a half birthday too.
He wants a Wade
Biannual.
Christmas in July.
I want a biannual party.
He needs this. It's like you're not sure how long he's going to be with us. Let's start
right.
celebrating a little bit more often.
When he hits 45, it's every 3 months.
I want to see my friends and family more. I want to
Celebrate on the 19th of every month. Could we do that, please?
Quarterly.
Did we have any more questions?
That's it.
Pay
That was all the
GST.
questions.
That's it.
Precision says long-winded podcast. His is still the only one we've broken into 2 parts.
Yep.
And Leif was awesome, and Bro Laws was fantastic. I want to go back and listen to that Bro Laws ones for anybody who hasn't. Like, it's from a sheer entertainment perspective.
I might listen to Leafs again.
Yeah,
but I don't want to listen to Bro Laws one.
I think I
It'd
might.
be awful to listen to.
It was pretty funny though.
Like if you're there, it was good, but
For us, yeah,
Listening.
yeah, maybe listening's
Listening's
painful,
probably
but-
not great.
Anyway, hopefully that sees itself through, and we can all get back together in whatever it is, October or November, and do it up at that show. I think that'd be wild if we could all get back together and
A big
after a
old
2-year
live
hiatus,
podcast.
yeah, and just get things back to normal again and
Yep.
do the industry stuff again. It's different right now, so. Anyway, do you guys have anything left to
Nope.
peace out in this thing? What are you doing for the rest of the day?
I got to do
You're
payroll and then I'm off to the cabin.
peace out. Going to do some.
I'm going to take my
sledding.
guns and I'm going to go in the bushes.
Okay.
That's I'm out.
Okay, well, on that note, if anybody, should we do this? Eric's wondering if you can piggyback his 50th birthday onto your Dallas,
Yeah, absolutely
Texas
can.
birthday party.
Yep.
That's a yes. Haney says, who is your favorite guest who is on a ski boat pulling his son on the day of his wedding? Varney, you silly bugger, hey?
So good.
Anyway, that's it for us today, folks. If you have any topics, feedback, ideas for us, or sponsorship we're looking to add to the podcast this year, then hit us up through Instagram or even Shane at tuds.ca, tuds.ca. That gets right to me.
Yeah.
Don't you sign me up for no goofy stuff here now, you guys. Okay, we'll see you later next week, okay? You have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Ultimate Deck Podcast. Now you know what we're about. Check the site, come and shop. UltimateDeckShop.com. Hit us right away for sponsorships or tell us if you want to collaborate. Let's go. Check us out on any social networks. Thank you for listening.